Hello and welcome to the weekly wrap video. Just a couple of things to catch you up on from the past 5 trading sessions then. We had quite a few key releases from the global central banks this week, starting off with the Federal Reserve. Saw the FOMC minutes from their latest decision where they trimmed QE purchases by $10 billion. The minutes released this week was pretty much in fitting with market expectations, confirming that many on the Fed favour a $10 billion taper at each and every meeting, eventually completely winding down QE3 over the next 6 or 7 meetings. The most interesting point from the FOMC minutes, though, was not on the taper, but actually on the topic of rate rises, as a couple of members did see a rate rise in the medium-term future. So some of the first comments we've seen there from Fed speakers on the topic of actual monetary tightening as opposed to a slowdown in the rate of easing over for the US economy. Elsewhere, though, in East Asia, we had 2 key Bank of Japan releases this week, first of which being the rate decision earlier in the week wherein they kept their QQE program on hold, but they did double the size of one of their growth funds. So this credit easing measure was doubled from 3.5 to 7 trillion yen, which did prompt some hope that the BOJ do continue on guard for monetary policy, and if they do see further stimulus measures as necessary, they will not hesitate but to conduct further easing. That did prompt some weakness in the yen, and as such some strength in the Nikkei 225, which remains the case for Friday's session, with the Nikkei climbed just shy of 3% in one day alone. And then we had the BOJ minutes at the most recent session, wherein they did say that it is too soon for a talk to the end of easing over in Japan. So still keeping that foot on the accelerator for the easing bias over at the Bank of Japan under Haruhiko Kuroda. And then from the Bank of England this week, we had some key UK data, which was somehow contrasted by a couple of releases from speakers there. First of all, the ILO unemployment rate in the UK actually unexpectedly climbed to 7.2% from 7.1%, so potentially putting a bit of relief off the Bank of England's shoulders in regards to being put under pressure to hike rates. However, the Bank of England member Martin Wheel, known for being ever so slightly hawkish on the Monetary Policy Committee, did bring up the topic in an interview with Sky News of a rate hike in spring 2015. So it does still show that these Bank of England MPC members do mean business. That's despite the 2015 general election, at which point monetary tightening can actually be quite an off topic. But other than that, it's been relatively quiet this week as the earnings season over in the US comes to a close, and the European earnings also slightly slows down, with most of those key bank releases already taking place over the past couple of weeks. But as always, I'll see you again on Monday morning to give you a full briefing ahead of next week's key releases. But in the meantime, that's all from me. Make sure you have a fantastic weekend.